Mayor Craig Greenberg unveiled plans for the Highland Park Bike Park. The new executive director of Thrive by 5 was announced, and it is officially Girl Scout cookie season in Louisville. All that and more on Louisville This Week. I'm John Ramsey, Director of City Partnerships. The former Highland Park neighborhood in Louisville will soon be the site of the new Highland Park Bike Park.
I'm proud to join with community partners here today to announce the next step to create the Highland Bike Park.
That's dope.
This is going to be an amazing place where mountain bikers and bikers can come and develop their skills. Plans call for 4 different zones that you can see here within the park. Beginners all the way up to advanced riders can enjoy it.
A mountain bike park such as this one is something we have visioned for a long time for our community. Mountain biking is more than a sport. It is an outlet to be creative and gives people something to be passionate about. I've seen youth heading down the wrong path really turn their life around when they find the love for cycling.
We're going to create spaces that will make it possible to host mountain biking events that would draw people from all around the region and country and add to the outstanding momentum that we have in our tourism and hospitality sectors.
During his weekly press conference, Mayor Greenberg highlighted the efforts of the Louisville Voodoo Jeep Club to help get people to and from work safely during last month's snowstorm.
We all remember just a few weeks ago when we had historic amounts of snowfall. Weather made it difficult for some folks to get to work. And that included essential medical personnel, essential personnel that are part of Louisville Metro government. And some members of the Voodoo Jeep Club who are here with us today gave rides to 120 people who work for our city's healthcare providers. And thank you all so much for your great volunteers effort last month and every month. Thank you so much, Ed. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
We worked around the clock for over 24 hours helping the city, and we're grateful for it, to have the opportunity to have the resources that we can give back. A lot of people see us and don't understand why we do it, because it's fun first, but now we actually get to give back and use it. So it was a real honor for us, and it's an honor for us to be here today.
You can support the Louisville Zoo by voting for them, as they've been nominated for 2 awards as part of USA Today's 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards program.
The zoo is nominated for Best Zoo and for Best Zoo Membership. All of us in Louisville know that the Louisville Zoo is definitely #1 in both of those categories. We want to win, and we're getting serious about that, and we want folks around Louisville who have had great experiences at the Louisville Zoo. This is one time where you can vote early and vote often.
This is exciting to be nominated twice. Reader's Choice Award, you can vote every day up until 11:59 on March 10th. We're excited. As of yesterday, voted later in the day, and we were number 9 out of 20.
Mayor Greenberg announced the new executive director of the Thrive by 5 program.
We know that the early years shape the trajectory of a child's life, and ensuring that all children, regardless of their zip code and regardless of their family circumstances, have access to high quality early learning is one of the biggest investments that our community can make. Expanding access to quality early childhood education requires bold thinking, collaboration, and commitment from every community member, from our parents, from our providers, from our business leaders, our legislators, and our funders. It will take all of us to ensure that Louisville's youngest learners have the strong start that they deserve.
Despite not having any seniors on the team, the Marion Seymour girls basketball team is having one of its best seasons in decades. While the Mustangs lack senior leadership, they make up for it with a strong team chemistry.
9 games. That's how many the Moore girls basketball team won in a row. That streak alone is more games than the Mustangs won all last season. And it's their longest winning streak since the 06-07 season, when they won 12 in a row. Head coach David Meadows was the coach for that team. After a decade and a half away from Moore, coming out of retirement, it seems like he has the Mustangs out of the gate strong.
I was very happily retired, and I'm always kind of hanging out up here, and someone sort of put the bug in my ear, and well, why not?
While his second stint with the Mustangs isn't necessarily about wins and losses, he found a new joy about coaching the game.
I just enjoy the coaching, and I've enjoyed working with the younger kids too. I hope somewhere along the line I've taught them some basketball, but I can tell you, being with these younger kids, new generation, they probably taught me a lot more than I've taught them.
Speaking of younger kids, what stands out about this team is the youth.
I have 10 players in my program, 5 of which are middle schoolers. It's been a juggling act. I've got 4 middle schoolers in my top 8 rotation.
Despite the number of players, a bright spot, one of their leading scorers is 8th grader Soraya Todd.
Last year we did not have a good season, so this year it was really like a comeback for all the teams that beat us last year. So we were really just proud of that.
This year the Mustangs won 16 games, the most wins in a single season in 6 years. And as the youth gets older, they get better. For example, junior Natalia Pitts has led more in scoring each of the last 3 years. Being one of the vets, she says the team chemistry is a big part of why they're getting these wins.
We just stay connected, and we all teach each other. We all learning. We all getting better as we grow, and we still got years together. Some of us 2, but I got 1. So I feel like it's good, though. We all learning, and we all teaching each other.
And the future of the program is bright. The Moore girls middle school team is currently in the junior LIT semifinal. These girls are already setting high expectations for themselves.
And we ain't run districts. It's been years. Ever since I've been here, we ain't run. But this year, I feel like we all locked in. I want to win a championship for Moore.
So your goal is to hang banners at Moore?
Yeah.
Brownfield is land that is vacant or underutilized because of potential or actual pollution or contamination. Brownfields come in all shapes and sizes, and the Louisville Metro Brownfields program is working to address areas of concern throughout the city.
We're at the future site of the community care campus, and we are on the second step of environmental testing for the site. And this is a common process for commercial real estate transactions where you make sure that the property doesn't have any chemical contamination or things that might be hazardous to human health.
So for this property, we chose 2 locations to collect soil gas, and groundwater samples to understand whether or not there's anything we need to be worried about from an environmental perspective on this property. The first process of that is to have a drill rig out here that has a direct push technology that pushes the core down into the soil, and it collects the soil at specific intervals for us. And we're screening it right now over at the table to understand if it tells us any information.
Brownfields are a really common issue in urban environments. We have them all over the place. By addressing them, you have this unique opportunity to use a property that has all this great infrastructure around it. But when we spend the time to assess, clean up, and communicate that process, we can tell people that we care about this neighborhood. We are here to make sure that you are getting investments that serve you.
Redeveloping brownfields is extremely important just in terms of getting these properties back into a productive reuse. Oftentimes brownfields are in really, really desirable locations. We pass by them every day. So being able to turn a blighted and abandoned property back into something that's contributing safe for the environment and human health, we enjoy getting to do that.
To me, a brownfield property isn't necessarily a property that has a lot of contamination expected to be associated with it. It's a property that's not being used appropriately. It's being underutilized, and it could be turned into something that's beneficial for the community.
Through our targeted brownfield assessment at the state level, we are able to provide no-cost environmental site assessments to eligible entities, which would include local governments like the City of Louisville or quasi-governmental agencies and 501c3 nonprofits.
Our Brownsfield Job Training Program gets young people trained up and certified in different aspects of environmental safety, environmental health, ultimately so they can get trained up and go in their downtown areas and combat those brownfield sites.
With Blueprint 502 being awarded a brownfield job training grant, they're taking that funding that they were awarded and learning how to do all sorts of things in the environmental field without having a college degree.
I have some students that just want to work for the people. They want to speak and be that voice for the people in their communities. We have other people that are interested in the machinery aspects of things. They want to do the drilling and things. We have people that want to run their own environmental company and do some soil testing and run laboratories and things like that.
Nonprofits like 502, they're paving the way here in Louisville to understand how to take a brownfield grant and turn it into jobs.
So we get a hands-on experience of seeing the machinery that's used in the sampling. We get to see how they process the samples and ultimately understand what contaminants are in the ground, if any at all.
Bringing the heart to these communities that we serve, especially in one that I live and have my family in, is very important to me. for the community that's going to be using this area for the community care center, and that's so critical for them, you know, and they might not ever even know that environmental sampling occurred to protect their health whenever they're enjoying this campus. But we're just proud to be a part of it and to do it right, to make sure that the redevelopment is planned the way it's supposed to keep the people safe. I feel like that strengthens our community so much, and it just gives a real and ready example to my children to show them that we can all be a part of something good.
Professionally, it's incredibly satisfying to know that the time that we spend and the work that we're doing has a tangible benefit for folks, that it's putting them in a safe and comfortable place to live that they can afford to be. It's really a beautiful thing to get to know that we are doing work that's going to help people live better. A good feeling.
Louisville Metro Alcoholic Beverage Control held a special program honoring the dedication and leadership of department members. During the program, Deputy Mayor David James announced Ronald Fay as the new Chief of Enforcement for Louisville Metro ABC.
We're here today because we're going to be swearing in the Chief Investigator and our Commander of Enforcement. His name is Ron Fay. He joined us on Monday, and I cannot express how excited I am that the Chief is going to join our team.
I, Ronald Fay, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
He brings a level of excitement and energy to this team that we've been longing for. We need what Ron brings. He's an expert in all things. ABC really needs to advance us to the next level.
And others violating the laws against gaming. So help me God. Congratulations.
Louisvillian and Olympic bronze medalist Jared Naguse set a new world record for the indoor mile with his 3:46.63 run at the 2025 Millrose Games in New York. The previous record of 3:47.01 was set in 2019. Congratulations on your impressive achievement, Jared.
To them, he's just a rock star.
We are so glad to have the opportunity to bring you back today and celebrate your success of this year's Olympic Games.
And all of the other achievements that he has made since graduating from here at Manual, and to reflect on the great pride that all of us here in Louisville have in his accomplishments and his representation of our city, our state, and his country.
It's all kind of fuzzy, honestly, but you cross that line and you're just like, oh my God, it's happened. I did it, I'm an Olympic medalist, and the gravity of it is just like so much, but it's just made me so happy. I was so excited.
Who Jared is, who he is as a person, actually has nothing to do with how fast he can run. It has to do with what a good friend he is, what a hard worker he is. He went to Notre Dame. He graduated cum laude in biochemistry. This is a brilliant young man. And as much time as he's spending running, he's going to spend a lot more in a dental office someday. That's still the plan, right?
Everyone should remember about the power that each one of us have to change someone else's lives, to connect with a friend or a colleague or a teacher or a student in a new way. Best cross-country coach in the world,
This victory is not just mine, but having someone support me from literally the very beginning is just so nice. And I feel like I really appreciate just everything that he's been able to do for me.
When you're a JCPS student, you have a limitless potential for what you can accomplish, what you can go on and achieve. And you see that with our mayor, you see that with our congressperson, you see that with all the amazing people that come out of JCPS and places like Manual High School.
Louisville's had a lot of great athletes in the past, and to be among them is such a huge honor and really, really cool.
Girl Scouts of Kentuckiana officially kicked off Girl Scout cookie season.
Girl Scout cookies are here. Girl Scout cookies have come to Louisville and they are ready to be distributed to our troops. Girl Scout cookies power the fun of Girl Scouting. And so when these Girl Scout cookies show up, they don't just mean great sweet treats for you, they also mean opportunity for girls.
Since I became an aide at camp, I've met so many younger girls who have really made my Girl Scout experience so much better because it's really grown my leadership skills, but it's also grown me as a person because now I know this is how you treat a child and this is how you take care of them and this is how you lead them to be someone that they want to be in the future.
Whether it's to explore the outdoors, the arts, have new experiences in the STEM learning, volunteerism, leadership, business, entrepreneurship, and more are all part of the Girl Scout experiences.
The Louisville Metro Council held a regularly scheduled bi-monthly meeting.
Hello, I'm Brent Ackerson, your Metro Council President, and the Metro Council representative for District 26. We've just concluded our latest Metro Council meeting, and here are some key highlights.
The council approved a non-competitively negotiated sole source contract with Sigma Squared for $350,000. This contract is for the analysis of LMPD police interactions to improve effectiveness and equity. Requested the Planning Commission review the Land Development Code regulations regarding financial institutions or payday lending stores. Approved a side letter agreement to the Carpenters Union agreement to increase the salaries of ABC license and permit investigators. Approved a non-competitively negotiated professional services contract for the Louisville Metro Public Health and Wellness Medical Director. Approved a non-competitively negotiated professional service contract for mental health screenings for Healthy Start participants. Approved the change in zoning from R4 to C1 at 11800 and 11806 East Oral Road. Accepted funding from the Kentucky Department of Public Health for the Hepatitis Grant Program. Accepted funding from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for language access devices for emergency preparedness efforts to ensure effective communication. And finally, the Metro Council approved neighborhood development funding to Norton Commons Elementary School for a playground ramp, Mental Health Lou and You, Forest Fest, and the Preston Area Business Alliance. Councilwoman Jennifer Chappell recognized the Kentucky Derby Museum and declared February 13th as Black Heritage and Racing Day. And Councilman Batshon recognized family resource coordinators at the Youth Services Center inside JCPS.
Thank you for staying engaged and interested in your local Metro government. Remember, you can watch all our meetings live on Louisville Metro TV, Spectrum Channel 184, or tune in online at louisvillekY.primegov.com/public/portal. Your voice matters to us. If you have any questions, concerns, or ideas, please reach out to your Metro Council representative online at louisvillekY.gov/Metro Council.
The Healthy Start program works to improve maternal health outcomes and reduce infant mortality rates by working with pregnant women and families. The program is available in Jefferson County for pregnant people, postpartum individuals, and infants and families from birth through 18 months.
Today we're having a safety class. This is Eleanor. She's 6 months old. We're Healthy Start. We're a program that prioritizes women that are postpartum, pregnant, families, and infants up to 18 months.
What does child care mean to me? What do I need to look for?
Some child care provider experts are coming to talk to community about what to look for in child care and also what resources are available to them.
I have my other ones in one, but it's not the best facility. It's good to come to these classes. You get more resources than you realize. At least for us, another way to find a better facility because I just found the first one that I knew took my child care.
I want her to know what to do, if he's choking or something's going on. For me, it's been 13 years since I've had a baby, so I feel like I really don't know. I'm doing this all over again.
It was a good experience.
It was a really great class, and I feel like all the concerns I have were addressed and were answered, and I even learned even more information than even what I was asking. I did receive a safety kit, just some papers like on pre-tax information, financial resources like financial counseling, getting people ready for home ownership programs, just helpful things. It's really kind of crazy to me because a lot of the information that I received is information that I've been looking for.
Hopefully that just alleviates any hesitation or any concern.
If you looking more into gaining more knowledge about the pregnancy process and what to expect after, then I would definitely encourage more parents, fathers and moms to attend the event.
I'll speak from my own personal experience.
Really uplifting and supportive, and just to hear, other people's thoughts and, different scenarios and things that are going on, it just makes you more aware.
ChildCareAwareKY.org is the website.
I'm definitely going to come back. Resources and programs targeted towards fathers is what my input consisted of.
Anyone from the community can come to these classes.
We've come a long way. There's still a long way to go.
There's another class with Healthy Start next week, and I can't wait to be here next week just so I can learn more.
Well, I just appreciate you guys coming and listening and being engaged.
The Louisville Visual Arts Society held a dedication ceremony for the Spark Light Sculpture in the Portland neighborhood.
LVA moving here and then having this big artwork, it feels like this is becoming a little art mecca down here.
Yeah, I think the artwork is sort of like the icing on the cake. It just crystallizes what has already been happening here. And they're working on this. We've learned how many people have gone through the LVA art programs as kids, and now they're out here working on these professional artworks. And when we started, I don't think we understood what a strong knit community it is.
You're never at a loss for something to do in Louisville. Roseanne Maston with Louisville Tourism has suggestions for what you might enjoy this month.
My name is Roseanne Maston, and I'm with Louisville Tourism. We are the marketing destination agency for the city of Louisville, so we're a good resource for what is going on and what you want to do in the town. Some of the things that are coming up for February you won't want to miss is the USA Gymnastics Winter Cup. That is the qualifying event that will host a variety of competitions. It's going to have the seniors and the women's all-around events. So if you were a fan of watching any of the gymnastic stars at the Olympics, you'll get a chance to see them up close and personal while they're here. The Level 10 Women's Artistic Gymnastics, the Elite Team Cup. They'll also see some juniors, so if you have any of your young gymnasts at home that are interested, they'll get to see people that are in their age group that are also competing. So it's a really fun event, also held at the Kentucky International Convention Center downtown. Coming later in February, make sure you mark your calendar for Louisville Restaurant Week. You won't want to miss this. There'll be dozens of restaurants in which you can get a 3-course meal for anywhere from $26 to $56. So those are special discounted prices that you'll get a chance to see the complete list of restaurants if you go to their website. And they'll also have a Restaurant Week app that you can check in from your phone. And if you do that throughout the week while you visit these awesome restaurants, then you'll get a chance to be in competition for a few prizes that they have. The beauty of this is that every time you do dine out, it benefits one of our community partners, Feed Louisville. They're a nonprofit that diverts food waste and repurposes it for the homeless and some of the food insecure. So it really is a win-win for our community. If you're looking for more of the details about anything that I've recommended or millions of more that we have online for February and beyond, make sure you visit gotolouisville.com, which is GOTO Louisville.com, and you'll see our calendar of events. There's lots of fun things from anything from arts and culture to dining and culinary and bourbon. There'll be plenty of something for everybody.
4th District Metro Councilman Ken Herndon is commemorating Black History Month by offering transportation to the Roots 101 African American Museum to members of his district.
That was how much money they wanted for her back in the day, which is worth $1.5 million. Well, I took office on January 6th, and I wanted to do something special for Black History Month. I also knew that having worked here for 3 years, that as wonderful as it is, and I think it is, not enough people in the community know about it. I initially was going to do one Saturday and then looked at the calendar, and it happened to be exactly 4 Saturdays in the month. And so I chose 4 locations in the district and worked with TARC and some food providers and Lamont and others, and we put it together.
Let us know. I think historically, in every community, storytelling has always been important. And I think it cannot stop. We can't let AI tell our story, right? It has to come from the heart, it has to come from the passion. But if you don't know the story, how can you tell the story? That's why education is so important, because we tell a true story, not an animated story. We all have a history, and it's all a history that should be shared. And because we share it, we grow closer together, because I know your story, you know my story. Lynched because they were showing you that.
This experience is about everyone. It's not just about Black folks, it's about everyone. After this, from this country forward, it's all of our history, and that it's easy to forget it, particularly now that there are people in places of prominence that are trying to make us forget that. And this is just one.
When I say Black history, it shouldn't divide us, it should bring us together. And historically, America never tells a story about white allies. See, freedom could not happen without white allies. There's white people that risk everything to do the right thing. And we need people today to do the same thing, because we're going to, we're repeating history. This is the same things I saw in the 1960s that's very, very much alive today.
I think it's critical, especially in my district. I have a 50-50 black-white district, and it's especially critical in my district because I represent everyone. Everybody, every kind of person who lives in Louisville lives in my district. And it's critical that I understand that, embrace that, celebrate that, and represent that properly. To another place and rearrange them to make them more powerful. And this is an example. I've had people that I know that I brought here, told to come here, say that they were changed after they walked through these exhibits.
This is something that we put on every person that comes to the museum. And it's more than 400 years old, these shackles. And no matter how I talk about history, until you feel the emotion and the trauma of what we do or what we've come through, till you put these chains on. So if Ken was in here, I still put the chains on Ken, and I would say that we're descendants of kings and queens that were enslaved in America. And then I would say, welcome to America. But the coolest thing that I teach is not the weakness of slavery, but the strength it took to come through slavery. And we never talk about the strength it took from a foundation of what our ancestors have come through. And what happens when people discuss it, and I ask them what they think, they give me trauma words. They say hurtful, hateful, and when you talk about trauma words from 400 years ago, that means there's trauma still in our community today. So it's a teaching tool to talk about that and everything about it. And you don't run from it, you run to it. And if you run to it, you can heal from it. And that's the whole purpose of it.
The Louisville Forum held their annual dinner at the Kentucky Science Center and presented the 2025 Fleur de Lis Award to Dr. Salvatore J. Bertolone.
Somewhere along the line, I learned, and I hope my sons here learn the same thing, give people the opportunity to say no. You lose nothing when you shoot high. You have nothing to lose because you don't have it. Give people the opportunity to say no. And so everywhere I went, I always tried to push the envelope a little bit.
How y'all doing? Today's Valentine's Day, and we just wanted to put a little love in downtown. So we've got hearts on some windows, and our ambassadors are handing out candy to people.
Happy Valentine's Day. Would you like some candy?
This is just a small thing we do. Valentine's Day is one little day of the year, but any excuse to be able to celebrate downtown and to make it a little bit more appealing and attractive and a fun place to be in. We just want to be here to do that. Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you for watching Louisville This Week. Please share Metro TV with your family and friends, and ask them to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, and download our app on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Have a wonderful week.